left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 29085, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, so requesting straight up for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Ever correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, next straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land, wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 13 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 this type, PC12 slam call request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon, unable to give you S file, and will be forward standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas Airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 311, maintain 7000, expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure, departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, initially 57,000 expected, 085, departure last 6 hours, plus 63 last 6 plus, which is 5.
Plus 4658, 3 back is correct. Tango India Mike, taxi to ground via Aqua English frequency.
Taxi to the RAN, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind, runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind 26 left, and record your base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242, on the visual for 20 right, will be turning you for a right base shortly.
United 242, Jolly Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 at 13.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Papa Hotel Tango Kilo ILS
4. Senior 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1. Number 237, Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658, East traffic to weather, going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning. November 290 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, reports missed.
November 290 Alpha, cleared low approach, runway 9. Next report is missing.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658, ready to go train right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, train right plus 465.
Palomar Tower nearby Kilo located 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Archer taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking place.
For 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
For 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
For 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying published missed approach procedure. November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure. Number 2903 Alpha.
Hey guys, welcome to another stream. Happy Sunday. Good to see you, Leo. Guys, welcome on board. Yeah, so a lot of flying lately, which I'm really excited about. What we're going to do, as I already announced in the previous stream, is, again, a very complex, at least in my case, a very complex VFR flight from Burbank to Burbank. So we're going to go full circle. in the LA area, doing all kinds of flyways and transitions through Bravos. We're going to do touchdowns. I guess this is one of the hardest. I guess it is the hardest flight I've ever done. So I guess we're going to see some mistakes. That's what I'm feeling. Hey, Scotty, good to see you. How are you doing? Welcome on board. And I will show you in just a sec. Yeah. ForeFlight. So, this is the route. As you can see, from Burbank to Burbank. We've got VMC on most airports here and also good TAFs. So we've got good weather. Only on John Wayne here there's some IMC, but that has mostly to do with some fog, ground fog, and some few clouds on 700 feet or so, so that's fine. So what I like to do is leave Burbank here without flight following, because, and that's the first half of the route, I'd like to learn or apply also some, I don't know if they are called actually flyways, but it's really interesting. There's a particular map. It's called it's the Los Angeles fly chart, I believe. I'm also doing good, Scotty. Yeah, and as you noticed, my girlfriend is getting more interested in aviation by the day, so that's really exciting as well. So we've been doing some flying yesterday. Today I designed her a very simplified checklist for the 172. So that's really, really cool. So I'm in a really good mood. Anyway, next to the sectional, there's also a particular chart made specifically for VFR pilots that like to fly around big Bravo airports, and it's called the Los Angeles fly chart, as you can see on the top. There's also a Las Vegas fly chart. I guess that for most Bravo airport there are fly charts, and what they do is, as you can see still Burbank there on the top, and you can see Los Angeles, but you also see these very thick blue flyways that tell you something about altitudes and also obviously about lateral routes, right? Hey Sniper, good to see you as well. Hey Tim, so did you give Miss Uncertified your password? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Just really, really weird actually, but so cool. So cool. But as you can see, controllers have made a map for VFR pilots as saying, okay, if you really like to fly around this very, very busy airspace, we recommend you to fly these flyways, because we know for sure that these particular flyways, these blue arrows, are bands, is room for VFR pilots to fly around on particular altitudes in between all that airspace, so you wouldn't interfere with departing or arriving airplanes, which is really, really handy. A Los Angeles flight chart. So I based my first right-hand circle around the LA area on these flight charts. As you can see here, as we're going to leave Bob Hope or Burbank, you can see that VFR pilots should fly this particular route. Not really exactly. Still on the PilotEdge area, by the way. You can fly any route as long as you stay clear of Bravo and Charlie and Delta airspace. So the PilotEdge controllers wouldn't mind that much. So this is really getting strict with real-world procedures. But I think that's educational. So still, if we just scratch the airspaces here on PilotEdge, so for example, for Burbank, for example, goes up to 4,800. If you would fly 4,850, also in the real world, but also in PilotEdge, that would be totally legal. Also, if we just make all kinds of circles and weird wild flight tracking here along these, in between all of this airspace, that would be fine as well, legally. Still though, controllers prefer that you stick to these flyways. So that's what I'm going to do. So again, from Burbank, above 5,000 feet, well, we need to go to the east. So we need to maintain VFR altitudes because we're probably going to fly higher than 3,000 feet. Also because that flyway is telling us that we should fly a little bit higher up. As you can see, if you fly higher than 5,000 feet, you know that you will be clear of Charlie in this case, of Burbank, but we're going to leave Burbank in this case, and also perhaps the Bravo airspace of LAX as well. You can see also, which is also interesting, these more light bluish symbols, like this big 747, with the arrows there on top that tell you what kind of departure or arriving routes are SIDs and the stars, right, that are associated with this airport, which is really, really handy. So you can expect to see some airliners here between, well, that's weird, 7,000 to 4,000, I would say, or would that be 14? No, that will be, well, I guess between 4,000 and 7,000 feet. Or this is descending aircraft, perhaps from 7,000 to 4,000. I don't know how to interpret that. But anyway, they also tell you what kind of airplanes to expect. Now, again, if you would be on flight following, which is a no-brainer for such a flight, we're not going to, because it's just like the excitement and just the freshness of not doing so. But in any case, you would do flight following here, because then you've got a controller that also watches over you and is in contact with other approach controllers, so they can coordinate your transition through all of this through this dense airspace. But anyway, because we're not, it's very handy to see what all the traffic is doing. So here you can see another route, right, from 3,500 up to 14,000. You can see you can expect some outbound or inbound traffic, and especially because we're flying with a Cessna Skyhawk, wake turbulence and that kind of stuff. So this is really, really important. Anyway, this is the flight chart. So above 5,000 feet, we need to go to the east. So odd numbered VFR altitude. So 5,500 feet would be a good altitude to fly when we go to the east for our first chunk of that circle that we're going to fly. We're going to overfly San Gabriel again, the Delta. And I'd like to go to this particular corridor or flyway. So at or below 6,500. Inigo, thank you for following. Welcome on board. At or below 6,500. Well, I say why 6,500? As you can see, the Bravo here starts at 7,000. So if you're going to stay 6,500 or below, they know for sure that we are below that Bravo. We could also pick this one, but I didn't pick this one because I only see an arrow going to the north, and we need to go to the south, right? And I see two arrows here, one to the north and to the south, so I guess we need to stick to this one. So I'm planning to go in between that little piece of, or below that chunk of Bravo airspace. That's the idea. So we go towards John Wayne. Then I'm going to hit this flyway below 9,500. So we can still fly here on 5,500, right? That's still below 6,500. So the first chunk is 5,500. We go to the east and we go to the south. And then we're going to hit this new flyway. We can still be at 5,500. That's important because we're not on flight following, and you can see this large Charlie airspace. Simon, thank you for following. Welcome, guys. Welcome on board. And we need to stay above that Charlie airspace. So 4,500 might still be okay. Well, then there's going to be some stuff going on because we need to, then we're going to transition to the west again, heading to LAX. And then what we see is two things. You see here a section of Bravo that starts at 6,000 to 10,000, but at 5,500, or well, at 5,500 we would still be fine, but we're going to the west, so now we need to transition to a proper VFR altitude, so 4,500 might be a good altitude. Also still allows us to stay clear of that Charlie airspace there. We've got a Delta here, Los Alamitos. That's a, I guess AAF means that it's a military airport, I believe. And so we need to stay clear of that. Goes to the top of 2,500. So that's fine as well. And we got another Delta here. That's Long Beach that we also need to stay clear of. But what I'd like to do, just to make it even more complex, I don't know what's hitting me here, but and perhaps it's too much, guys. I don't know. I'd like to do a touch and go at Hawthorne here, just before we transition the LAX airport. So that's really, really close. You can see just north of that, there's a Bravo from the service to 10,000. We cannot bust that airspace. That's also the reason why at Hawthorne, if we look at the sectional, any traffic pattern that you're going to fly in Hawthorne will be away to the south side of the airport. So there, I think it's runway 07 and, well, the inverse. And so from 07 would be your right-hand traffic, and heading up towards the oceans will also be a left-hand traffic. So you also always stay at the south side of the airport. So I'm going to do a touch and go there. And on the go, I like to request for Hawthorne to do the mini route transition. I never did the mini route transition yet, and Hawthorne, which is really, well, perhaps it's not weird, but to me it's surprising that Hawthorne, this Delta airport, coordinates transitions. This particular transition, the mini route transition, through the Bravo of Los Angeles. So I'm going to do the touch and go. Already, before I even did the touch and go, I'm going to say Hawthorne, I would like to do a touch and go, and I'd like to do the mini route. So then when we're going to depart, I guess we need to, I will show you the mini route transition soon. We need to go to 2,500 for that altitude. So from a touch and go, I guess we don't have enough time to climb already to 2,500. So I guess we need to do a left 360 here. So gain some altitude to get to 2,500. Then grab the radial to Santa Monica. I believe that's the 128 radial, but we'll have a look soon. And we're going to fly over Los Angeles, this time by day, and this time also to the east end of the runways. Actually, it's also depicted or instructed that we need to fly over the numbers on the east side of the airport. So that means, because we're in the left seat, we can have a glance at LAX with our little Cessna 172 overflying a huge airport. So I think that's really, it's really interesting. Simon, damn dude, you're good at this. Awesome. Well, it just takes time and practice and some dedication, Simon, so you can learn this as well. It took me 81 episodes and a lot of training and a lot of guys here and girls visiting on the channel telling me what to do and what not to do. So yeah, with time you can learn pretty much anything, I think. So yeah, so then we're gonna transition LAX. That's gonna be awesome, I think, right? At daytime, also the weather is good. Then we're gonna fly over and also transition through the Santa Monica delta, because you need to do that mini route transition at 2,500, and as you can see, this delta goes up to 2,700. So we're gonna transition Santa Monica, and then once we are out of Santa Monica, I'd like to contact the approach controller of Burbank, because I need to, that's my destination airport again, and hit Burbank again, and then we land. So it's a circle. This is well, I guess it's the most complex VFR flight I made so far. Silly, because why would you like to do a touch and go here in Hawthorne? Because we are the uncertified pilots here on the channel, and it's educational, and let's just see what happens. It's all a big experiment. Hey, Miniwebs, good to see you as well. How are you? That's the flight. So, altitude is important. We need to fiddle a lot with frequencies, because as you can see here, this first half of the circle, how are we going to coordinate that? Is that just going to be based on visual reference points? Well, I don't think so. So I'd like to shoot some VORs, also some cross, how do you call that? So two navs and cross-referencing that. So there's a, what is it called? This is called, well, this VOR, I don't know what it's called, that we're going to fly to from the north to the south. And we can also use the Van Nuys VOR over here, of Van Nuys, just east of Burbank, and shoot this particular leg to the east. And so when we hit this particular intersection here, these flyways, we can fly down south. Then we're going to fly to Seal Beach, I think, is here. Yeah, Seal Beach, I think, is the vortex. So we're going to hop over from VOR to VOR, making very sure we're not going to hit any airspace, because we're not on flight following. So we need to remain clear of that airspace. Exciting! Also, one thing that is really challenging is, obviously, when we're going to do a Hawthorne touch and go, we need to descend. And as you can see, we've got a lot of delta airspace here. We cannot transition through that airspace as long as we don't request to descend through that airspace. So I think that this particular here, this Van Nuys 140 track here, that provides us with some room to descend already to traffic pattern altitude at Hawthorne, to do the touch and go at Hawthorne. Because if we already start to descend here, once we are above Los Alamitos, or something like that, or Long Beach, we bust that airspace, which we're not allowed to do, right? So I'll have a look if that's also quick hop at the sectional. No, that's not here. That's not what I made. So I guess I thought that I could descend from 4,500. We can already, I mean, we're on a westerly heading. 4,500 would be enough here to overfly the Charlie here, but then we can already start to descend even more, right? We've got a Bravo here at 5,000, which is still good if we're at 4,500, but I'd like to already start my descent to Hawthorne. So here we could already descend to 2,500, right? which officially would make us bust this airspace, because this means there's not a minus in front of that 2.5, so that means that the 2,500 feet is included in this airspace. So if we would exactly fly 2,500 feet, we would be strictly in this delta. So we need to fly 2,501 feet to stay clear of that, or plus, obviously. So what we could do is also fly 3,000, because only when you fly 3,000 feet above AGL, then the VFR altitudes apply. So 3,000 feet would be nice. Also, we've got 2,600 here on Long Beach that we also need to stay clear of. So we must be able to descend from 3,000 feet after we leave this delta, or overfly that delta, 3,000 to traffic pattern. I don't know if we're able to do that. I have such a hard time having an idea how much distance there's actually between Hawthorne here and this let me a ruler here. That is 7 nautical miles. To be honest, I have no idea whether I can make that, but we can calculate that. But I'm a little bit too lazy. And I rather like to be on the safe side. So rather than doing this leg, let's just do this. We go over to this direction. This is a little bit more time. Well, let's go. No, well, not make it a GPS, but just Wilma. And oh no, that doesn't really help, because here you can see Zamperini also has a delta, and you can see that it's still part, right? That lag, so that doesn't really help. I need to really fly in between that stuff. Oh yeah, obviously, we just need to catch that Van Nuys radial. So like this. I need to fiddle a lot with those frequencies, guys. It's going to be really, really challenging. Miniwebs, I'm great. Just about to package up my Idaho backcountry project and upload it to the org. Awesome, Miniwebs. Cool to hear. Money3 Ball, welcome. When you are in the air, what do you use to ensure you don't bust a particular airspace? Well, I've got a GPS. And also, we've got just good preparation. So with good VFR referencing and that stuff, we need to be able to determine where we are, and therefore know how high we need to fly up. So that's the idea. Now this might be an overload, guys. I mean, look at all the frequencies that I need to switch, especially when I also like to prepare for my touch and go air on Hawthorne. I need to prep already these the transition for LAX. But I feel that I'm just excited. Let's just see what happens, and if we fail, we fail. That's the training room that PilotEdge allows for. We're not really messing with the system. We're really giving it an honest and genuine attempt. So failure, sometimes you win some, sometimes you learn some, right? There's nothing to lose. Okay, so that's the flight bit. So that's one that I changed. So the Van Nuys radial 140, that's what we're going to catch, because that brings us right in between these deltas. We need to really stick on that needle. And we fly to Hawthorne and do I guess a left base entry there. Touch and go, and then on the go, that mini route transition. Okay, then what I'd like to show you is the mini route transition, because there's also separate dedicated charts for those transitions. There are many. They're also depicted here on the sectional. So you can see here the mini route, you can see the coastal route, you can see the Los Angeles Special Flight Rules area. There's also a Coliseum, I think. Coliseum transition, I believe. Or isn't it anymore? Well, I don't know. There are several ways to transition the airspace. The most easy one is the Los Angeles Special Flight Rules area. You can just overfly the field with a particular squawk code and on a radial, and you don't need to chat with ATC at all, which is very basic, but I like to fly the mini route because I haven't used the mini route before. Now, there are different charts that you can find on the Los Angeles sectional legenda, which you can also look for here on ForeFlight, obviously. Where are they? Here they are. Yeah, here, the Coliseum route. Well, this is the mini route that I'm going to do. So here you can see an instruction for VFR pilots. And as you can see at the bottom, can I zoom in? Yeah. You've got a northbound and a southbound track, right? You can go from the north to the south, or from the south to the north, and that's what we're going to do. And you can see also instructions there. Well, first off, restrictions. Fixed wing, jet only, LAX must be in the west traffic or over an ocean configuration. So if the winds are really strong and blowing from the wrong side of the country, then this whole mini route is closed we cannot use that particular mini route. Well, that's okay for now, for today. And reporting a ceiling of at least 3,500. Yeah, so not any lower. That's good as well. Ceiling, by the way, is not a ceiling. Only what counts as a ceiling is a broken or an overcast. So few clouds or scattered clouds, even though that has a ceiling, it's not officially a ceiling, because you can still fly through it via VAR, right? Remain clear of clouds. Miniwebs, this will be good practice for your Cat 10. Oh yeah, and again, it's not really that I'm trying to prep for my Cat 10 specifically. It's just fun to get the system and to get some challenge here, which might be a little bit too much for today. So it's going to be exciting, guys. So let's read the route here. We're going northbound. GPS. Routing, direct SMO. As you can see also here, the visual picture is very, very clear. So we need to catch that radial 128 of SMO, of Santa Monica. That we're going to fly. We can expect 2,500, I believe. Let's see. During normal Tormer hours. First, Hawthorne Tower, 121.1. Well, we need to sign into that frequency regardless, because I'd like to do a touch and go there. But anyway, we will stay on Tower. And the Tower will coordinate transitions through the mini route. I don't know why. I mean, it's just LAX. Why does Hawthorne need to do this? Well, I guess because the LAX towers are tower controllers are quite busy. LAX, yeah. And then when we're flying to Hawthorne, or when we depart from Hawthorne, then Hawthorne will say, well, Papa Delta Mike, switch over to the LAX tower, because we need explicit clearance to transition through a Bravo. It's not only that when you have two-way communications that you're allowed to, you need to hear from the tower controller, Papa Delta Mike, you're clear to transition. So that's the clearance that we're going to receive from LAX on 119.8. And then there's a freeway apparently. Well, that's the freeway here, 405, that you can follow for that first bit where we need to stick on that 128 radial, and that you can see that will bring us right over the runways there, over the numbers. And I think that's also here instructed. Let me see, 405 highway at 2,500 when cleared by LAX Tower, entity Los Angeles clear class Bravo, right? Established on the SMO 128. Yes. At 2,500, yes, cross over the LAX runway 24 left numbers, or as directed by ATC. So that's perfect. And that's it. And we're going to overfly the LAX area. And as soon as we do, SMO, the Santa Monica Delta is coming up, and LAX Tower will probably say, switch over to Santa Monica, because we're flying at 2,500 and the Delta here ends up to 2,700. So we're going to fly through that Delta. Just fine. So then switch to tower to 120.1, saying, hey, Santa Monica, on the mini route, like the transition. Whew, I'm already feeling tired just by briefing the flight, guys. My gosh. Okay. And PilotEdge is already live. Good. And then we go to Burbank and land. And yeah, sweat. That's the flight of today. Now, looking at TAFs, as I already mentioned, green across the board, good TAFs, so I'm not going to brief that here today, also time-wise, because otherwise, still, I'm flying now, it's now 5 o'clock in the evening here in the Netherlands, so just before dinner I like to fly, so I don't like to spend that much time on the briefing, because I know it's already okay. Anything else here? Well, a lot of airports to divert to in case shit hits the fan, so that's good. Also, we've got a TFR, a temporary flight restriction area, and that's one that's, well, it's temporary, but it's actually always there. It's part of the Disneyland theme park. They bought themselves their own TFR, saying that you cannot fly below 3,000 feet AGL over that particular area. If you do, without permission, you've got some F-16s or F-18s joining you, and you get a nice telephone talk with the authorities. Now, what's interesting is that when you are on ATC contact, whether you're on tower, when you leave John Wayne, or on Long Beach, or on flight following, you are allowed to fly through that TFR. If you're not in contact with ATC, then you should stay clear. Now, we are not in contact with ATC. I'm not going to fly on flight following. So again, this is not an altitude that we need to, we need to stay clear of this TFR, so not go below 3,000 feet when we're overflying that this particular TFR area. Important stuff. I don't think that on PilotEdge really applicable. But we'll see. Hopefully we don't find out. We'll never find out. But I don't think they are that strict with TFRs. I don't know. Sure. And that is the flight. So 5,500 to the east, also to the south. Then here we're going to go to the west, so then we need to go 4,500. We stay clear. As soon as we are clear from this TFR, so almost like we're overflying the Seal Beach VOR here, just a few miles, we're going to start our descent to 3,000 feet, right? And as we hit the Venice 140 radial here, we can start to descend to traffic pattern altitude. And what is the traffic pattern altitude? 1,000, 1,100 feet or 1,200 feet. Okay. Left patterns, all that stuff. I already looked that up. And yeah, 2,500 transition. And we're going to stay at 2,500, I think, while we go to Burbank again. 3 profits. I want to be the F-18 pilot that intercepts guys that fly over Disneyland. Yeah, it sounds cool, right? Well, if you're interested in that stuff, search on YouTube. There are ATC recordings, and man, that's not good. Also from the military side, so you hear how they coordinate with all kinds of weird military jargon, but also from the Cessna side. Really, really interesting. So the approach controller says to the Cessna something like, Cessna, Papa tells you, Mike, are you aware that you're actually now flying in a TFR? And the pilot says, what? No. And the controller says, well, look to the left. You might see some F-16s now flying formation with you. And he, oh my gosh. And he needs to land very quickly. Again, the police is already there, and you get a nice talk with the authorities. And the recordings are available on YouTube, so if you're interested, have a listen. It's funny, even though it's well, not really good stuff. Okay, so yeah, briefed it. Briefing is important, guys. That's why I spend a little bit more time here on this particular flight. Okay, so gone and away. We are currently at wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous, Greg-based Burbank that I reviewed also in the previous stream. Look at this detail. On the Atlantic FBO, that's the GA spot here, so that's good. I don't know what runway we're going to get. 08, I think, is this one. Yeah, that's 8. But it might also be 15 from over there, so we need to taxi a bit, but we can just enjoy the scenery. So that's good. Shift 9 into the cockpit. There we are. Okay. Already fastened my real seat belts. Gives me luck in a sense, I think. Anyway, so you could just land on taxiway Charlie at John Wayne. Yeah, that's also a way to get into international news. In the cockpit, really nicely synced. Now we are. Cold and dark check. Parking brakes are set. Let's also first close the door. Life vest, fire extinguisher, I pretend is there. Doors closed, windows closed, ELC to auto. This we cannot use. Flap lever is up and our flaps are up as well. My mixture lever works, my throttle lever works, my trim works. Fuel tank set to both. And nothing that we can do here right now. Circuit breakers are nicely tucked in. Everything is off except for beacon, and my switch panel is also in sync. Good. Batteries on. We've got enough fuel. Again, our magic, well, it's now 15 gallons actually. Okay. I'd also like to check my flight controls. To the right, go down. Good. And then down. Up. Trim lever. Trim wheel is working as well. I'd like to check my pedals. Works. Good. Avionics on. Seem to be working as well. Annunciator panel. Yep, that's good. And again, we checked on fuel and we're ready to go. Avionics off. Prime the engine. Fuel pump on. Mixture in. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is enough prime. Fuel pump off. Throttle a bit in. Parking brakes are set. Fuel tanks are set to both. Is there anyone in the prop area? I don't think so. Clear prop. Mixture full in. Magnetos back to both, 1200. Oil pressure should be within the green within 30 seconds, and it's already in the green. We've got a perfect engine here. Lean for ground, something like this. You should observe a small dip there in the RPM, which is not simulated in the stock 172. 1000. Generator on. We see a rise in the M meter, so our battery is charging. Avionics on. Let's also check the flaps. We're not going to do an external walk around here, but I need to be sure that our flaps are working. Good. Go down in sync. Go up in sync. Transponder, VFR, good. Mode C is on. Navigation. So we need to set some frequencies, guys. First one. So the first leg that we're gonna fly, I like to catch darts here, which is a fix. That doesn't really matter that much. We can fly whatever heading. You just need to go to the east. But I'd like to fly a radial as always, because I cannot mess up radials most of the time. So I'd like to use the Venice outbound radial, which is over here, and fly this leg towards yeah, that second bit of the leg. Let me see. That would be a radial of 100, right? If you guys can see, 98. So, first off, Venice. That is 113.1. Nav 1, 113. It's already set. Perfect. And we need to set the radial here. That's going to be outbound. So 1 is 13. Or 13, 100, I mean. 100, okay. 97, that's good as well. So yeah, that's a from reading, that would be perfect. So that means that while we catch that radial, that brings us all the way through this particular leg, but then here we need to make a turn to the south. Well, I'd like to base that turn on the next radial that we're going to catch on the nav 2. That's El Toro, that's what I meant, El Toro. 117.2 in the nav 2. 117.2, switch to the active, perfect. What catch are we going to, do we want to make? Well, we'd like to catch the radial of 152. 152 it is. So we're going to stick on that outbound radial from Venice, and as soon as I see the nav 2 hit center, I know that we are exactly on Biro, as you can see on the map there on the top. And we can make our turn to the south. Now then, we need to hit Ollie. When do we know when we need to make that turn? Well, once we hit the radial of Seal Beach here, 115.7. So I'm going to set that in the nav 2 or in the nav 1 standby, so I can just switch. And that's, what was it? 115.7. And this is going to get tough. 115.7. Okay. Now I cannot set the OBS because we already set the OBS, so we need to think about that while we're flying. So as soon as we're on the nav 2 here going towards Ollie, we could already reset the nav 1 so that we are ready to make this this leg to Seal Beach. And we also fly the outbound here of Seal Beach, and then we need to catch the Venice radial 140 to get to Hawthorne, right? So that's gonna be again Venice. That's 113.1. Let me see. So we had the nav. What did I just do? That's 115.7 is in the standby of nav 1. So nav 2 standby is going to be then Venice again. 113.1, I guess. Yes. And also that radial we're going to set, and this will be the radial. What was it depicted there? 140. That will bring us towards Hawthorne. Not exactly, but towards it. Those magenta arrows here, Venice 140. Okay, and then while we are descending through Hawthorne, I need to reset my nav 1 because I need to fly the Santa Monica VOR, right? That OBS that crosses us over LAX. My gosh, guys, it's gonna be so tough. Okay, radio frequencies set. Communication frequencies. Burbank. Here we are. So we are currently parked at Atlantic over there. What are the winds? We can just have a quick peek here at Burbank. Where are they? Weather. 0, not winds. 10 statute miles clear visibility. Perfect flying weather. Okay, so I guess we need to find out the winds calm runway. Well, I don't know. We're just gonna see. I guess we can expect 8 runway because we're gonna request for a eastbound departure. Well, that's pretty eastbound. Zone runway 8. So that will be a delta. Runway 8 to delta. Whoop, 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 like so, right? Or we can get delta, Bravo, and 15. I don't know what those guys like us to do, but those are the 2 options that I'm expecting. Okay. Sign in with clearance delivery. 118.0 on the top. Come on, 118.0. Ground is 123.9. Okay, and that's set as well. And then we're going to move up while we go. Okay, so that is set. Let's have a listen of ADIS, obviously. COM2, that's also very, very important. COM2, that's a frequency that we must need. And here on Burbank, that's 134.5. 134.5, that's now in the active. What do we need in the standby? Well, let's have a look at the map. So we're flying over here, here. We should also listen here to ADIS.
San Bernardino ground, pitch at 210 to whiskey on the west side, main terminal.
Off. Well, the most important... Yeah, we also need John Wayne ADIS. I'm going to set Hawthorne, but I guess it's also good that we listen to ADIS while we're flying, because we need to reset our altimeter to make sure they were on the right altitude. If our altimeter is off, because John Wayne has a different air pressure than on Burbank, we might have an indicated altitude of 4,500, but 100 feet is not that much in terms of differences in pressure. So we need to fly in the reality of John Wayne. So I guess John Wayne is a good one that we should pick. So that's the ADIS that I'm going to use, and that is 126.0. 126.0. 126.0. Okay. That makes sense. So we know the current altimeter because we're not on flight following, so the approach controllers are not going to say to us altimeter is. We need to grab that ourselves. And then we're going to fly, and then I need to go to ADIS of Hawthorne to get that touch and go going. Man, I'm going to go insane after this flight. Okay, that's set. Airport elevation here of Burbank is 780 feet. Well, that's correct. Our heading indicator is synced. Heading map we're going to set soon. Again, EGC is nicely high up. Oil pressure is insanely high. Or oil temperature, I should say. But that's just stock. We are ready to go. COM 1 on. Guys, here we go. Wish me luck. Send your vibes, your certified pilot vibes.
R665, take us San Bernardino, where you, San Bernardino ground, where you park.
Should we also
the
grab the ADIS of Burbank to know what the current weather is?
Bob Hope Airport Burbank Information Hotel. 1900 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable.
We know.
Visibility more than 10.
We know.
Sky clear.
We know.
Temperature 20. Dew point -18. Altimeter 2988.
We know enough.
Arriving run.
Okay. Hotel. Again, COM 1 on. Double check the frequency. 118 is clearance and 1239 is ground. Yep. We're at Atlantic with hotel. Skyhawk slant alpha. I should also use my suffix already because we're at a Charlie, so it's the same as with flight following. But I'm also going to include negative flight following. If I don't say that, you get automatically get flight following. So that's what I'm going to say as well. One departure. and also my altitude, I guess, then, even though we're not going to get flight following. So that will be 5,500. Okay, let's see what happens. Burbank clearance, good day. Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Cold call first.
PHTIM, go ahead.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike is a Cessna Skyhawk Slant Alpha currently at Atlantic with information hotel. We'd like to depart Burbank to the east at 5,500. Negative flight following. Let's see what he got. What he got.
PHTIM on departure, Burbank clearance on departure, maintain VFR out of below 2,500, departure frequency 134.2, squawk 6442.
After departure, we'll stay below 2,500, departure frequencies 134.2 and 6442 in the box. Papa Hotel Tango Mike.
PHTIM, read back correct.
6442. That also made my life so much easier. Set a keybind to my transponder code. So just Alt, I just press the Alt button and just, well, press numbers and it just works. Because otherwise I fiddle around, especially with turbulence. It's not good. Thank you, Sniper, for the good luck wishes. It will be a walk in the park for you, I'm sure. Again, as always, complex fear for flying, I guess, is also the same with I for flying. Fly ahead, mentally. Think ahead. I mean, you also need to have some presence, obviously, with what you're doing, but... Okay, that's the squawk. We set the squawk, mode C. We're now ready to go for ground. Switch to the ground frequency. Standby is now clear, so we can set the tower already. That is 118.7 or 132.325. What do we need? Well, that depends mostly on the runway that we are assigned to, I guess. No, as you can see here on the top, Burbank Tower, 118.7 and 132 is for helicopters. We're not a helicopter. 118.7. Good. Then we'll keep this. No, scratch pad. I like to have my scratch pads. We're now at ground. Okay. We pretend that these are totally different controllers. So again, I'm going to mention hotel. Again, that we are on Atlantic. I think. Let's just do it.
Las Vegas clearance delivery, Southwest 404.
Hey, Flight Gear X. What do you think of P34 version 4? Going to try it out? Nope.
San Diego, ready copy.
X-Plane 11 is perfect for me.
Southwest 4047 Las Vegas clearance, I have no flight plan for you.
Also, I should more efficiently use my scratch pad. Need to write a lot, I think. Well, no, that's not really true.
Clearance delivery, Southwest 404.
Now we're hoping for 08 because it's just in front of us here. Right. Burbank ground, Sky Pop Hotel Tango Mike at Atlantic with hotel ready for taxi.
Beachjet 2102 Whiskey San Bernardino Tower, wind calm, runway 6, clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 6.
Bring it on.
Whiskey.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike's again.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike is at Atlantic with hotel. We're ready for taxi eastbound.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike. Roger, runway 15 taxi via Delta Bravo.
Long taxi, guys. Runway 15 via Delta and Bravo for Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Okay, make sure again.
Southwest 4047 clear to Limburg Airport.
Let's clear this stuff.
Departure level transition as filed. Climb via SID squawk 7427.
So we're here. Delta, Bravo, all the way up. All the way up to 15.
Clearance delivery, Southwest 4047, cleared to the boat to San Diego Limburg, via the boat 7.
Beacon on, everything on.
Filed. Squawk port 727.
Okay, no one here. Parking brakes released.
That was 4047 readback correct, except the only part of that readback that was mandatory. Climb via SID.
Climb via SID.
Turn indicator works, slip indicator works, heading indicator works, attitude indicator is stable.
And just a quick explanation. Anytime you hear the words climb via SID or climb via SID except maintain, you have to read back and acknowledge that in a readback. And then when you're doing
Alright,
it,
Delta.
you have to
Where's
verbally
Delta? I
state
guess
it
already
to the
here.
controller that you're doing it.
It's such a confusing
Climbing
airport.
via SID or
I think.
climbing via SID to 5,000 or whatever the altitude is.
There's an
that,
ILS stop
accept
here that we
maintain
can
altitude.
completely ignore.
So anytime you would say, you know,
Yeah,
when
that's
you're checking
Delta
on
in
the
the black there.
frequency, you say
Going to the right here of
Southwest
us.
4047
There
out
we
of
go.
5,000 for 10,000. Instead of saying for 10,000 or climbing to 10,000, that would be where you put it, because climbing via SID is an altitude instruction and it's a mandatory readback.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. 4047.
Okay, we know that we got runway 15. It's good to, if you've got your taxi route
Air 2102 is catch.
thought out,
Archer 0 Whiskey, thanks.
to already use your taxi time to brief your departure, so you're ready to go when you hold short at your runway and you don't spend too much time
runway 06 takeoff.
Sky 626 Tango, San Bernardino Tower.
taking up the time of other airplanes
right now,
waiting behind you trying to take off.
Take off wind calm and caution wake turbulence, beach jet just departed.
Expedite all that stuff.
Roger that, right downwind departure.
Look how pretty
runway
this is.
06,
That's the
clear to
Millionaire
2000,
FBO. Here we go. Again, I'm looking, peeking at my airport diagram. Now the turn is coming up to the left.
Beach jet 210 Whiskey, so got a departure. Radar contact.
That's the heading that we need to go to. Okay, this is Delta, no one to the right.
And Las Vegas ground, southwest 4047. Request.
I don't see an indication of Bravo here, but I know pretty sure that this is okay because I see the runway to the right there.
Onto, active taxiway.
Again, slow taxi.
Negative on that one.
We're not racing cars.
So that's 4047.
On
If you're
900
not pushing
RPM,
onto
that
an
would
active
give you a
taxiway, then,
stable
no need to request push and start.
taxi speed.
ATC doesn't control. Usually they have ramp control at those kind of airports, but ATC doesn't control that area, and so you can do whatever you like in those areas.
Okay, so we're going to depart 15. Our instructions were that we need to stay below 2,000 or 500.
Beach jet 02 ski.
So our
so maintain
5,500 we cannot climb to just yet until the controller is going to say you're free to go, free nav. Departure frequency 134 that we're going to set when we switch to tower soon. And we just catch that first radial in our nav 1 until the nav 2 is centered, because then we need to make our southbound turn. Yeah. And then we need to catch that ATIS of John Wayne, because we need to be very, very sure that we're not going to fly through that Charlie. And man, I'm going to reset some frequencies here. Interesting. Okay, good. Wonderful scenery. It is so pretty. Oh, that hangar is a little bit floating. Far distance. But that should be corrected. Go a little bit faster than this. I mean, slow and controlled is good, but slow is not good. Oh, Snack. Hey Jessica, good to see you. You are coming in from John, I guess? Oh, Snack is a John Fly term. Ah, John Fly rate. Awesome. Ah, you're welcome, guys. Again, gives me a little bit more social pressure here to not make any mistakes during this flight. But again, I already got a very obvious disclaimer. I'm an uncertified pilot, so... Ah, oh, Snacks coming in. Guys, you're welcome. Did you enjoy the John Wayne Fly stream? Or John Fly stream? I seen a bit of his stream just before I went online. Kindly says hello. Awesome. Well, say hello from me to John as well. I appreciate his support a bunch. Yeah, John Fly, I know what you're getting at. Let me see, this is Bravo 1. We can still go a little bit further. Let's do that, because it's not that we need that much runway with the Cessna Skyhawk, but in case we've got an engine out or engine trouble while we are taking off, I'd like to have all the runway to return to the runway, to make the field. So, we're not in a hurry. If you are in a hurry with flying, don't fly.
65 Tango.
Hello guys, welcome. Thank you
Roger
for
that.
the
Frequency
follow,
change.
Maverick.
Frequency
Thanks. Welcome on board, guys. Wow, very much appreciated. So I think, well, let's just go one tad further. Let's park over here. Okay, good. So we already briefed our departure, so that's great. So that means that we can already switch over to tower. Well, let's just clean up. Just do a power check first. Engine is already warm. 1800. 1800 RPM. There we go. No unshaded messages. Everything is stable. Also, the instruments are stable. Oil pressure still there. Left mag, small enough drop back to both. Right mag, small enough drop and comparable to the left is good. Back to both. Then landing light on. Just to give it some extra drain on the battery to see if it still remains neutral or in a slight positive indication, which is okay. Then we go full idle. To see. Thank you for the follows, guys. Did you enjoy the John Fly stream? Well, I did a bit before I went flying. Again, oil pressure is good. No unshaded messages. Our engine is fine. Keep the mixture in. One last flight control test because this is important stuff. I also like the quote, "There's no emergency takeoff, only emergency landings." And I also should use the box. Someone of you guys suggested me to do the box kind of flow and not just do random turns, but okay. Again, takeoff 2500, that's our ceiling as instructed. We're just going to depart to the east and we're going to catch this radial. That's what we're going to do. Switch to ground to tower. We can set our standby now to our departure assigned departure frequency 134.
So approach squawk 4370 ident.
Point.
At safe position.
2.
Air 65 Tango, safe position.
Awesome. That's set. Tower. All right. Let's go, guys. No way turning back. Burbank Tower, Skyhawk Hotel Tango Mike is running short 15, ready for departure.
PHTIM Burbank Tower, runway 15, clear for takeoff, wind 1403.
Clear for takeoff 15, Hotel Tango Mike.
Skyhawk 656.
There we go.
Skyhawk 6265 Tango.
Fly quietly.
Radar
Well,
contact 12
we'll try.
east of Ontario
No
Airport,
one on
transition
final
Charlie
here.
airspace at or above 3,000.
Always check yourself as well, and there's no one on the runway. Good.
4047.
Trim is set. Fuel tank set to both. Mixture full in. We're not lit up. Now we are.
Verify squawk 7.
Landing lights on, strobe lights on. Assigned with our heading.
Please.
Confirms. There we go. Full power. Airspeed is alive. Engine is in the green.
742747047.
Keep that on center. 40.
Southwest 4047.
50.
You read it back wrong, but you put it
60.
in right. It came up. Runway 25.
There we go,
Runway
guys.
25 right,
From
taxi to
Burbank.
Charlie Bravo.
To Burbank.
Charlie Bravo to 25 right southwest 4047.
Look at this scenery. Again, if we got an engine out right now, we can still make the field. Keep it at 80, nicely trimmed. Woohoo! It is so cool. X-Plane is awesome, guys. Man, let alone PilotEdge and streaming and meeting you guys, it's all so cool. Okay, we were cleared for an eastbound. So that means that we can already start to make our turn. But we need to stick below 2,500, so I'm going to pick 2,000 as a initial altitude here. Until we get clearance, or we get signed off. And that could be any time now. Alright, to the east. You can see the needle, our track is a little bit to the right of us. Nose down, 2,000. Allow the airspeed to increase. There it goes. Reset the throttle a bit. We don't need to go full power here. Good. Nose down. Let's just give the tower a notice here. Burbank Tower, Skyhawk Hotel Tango Mike is level 2000.
PHTIM, radar contact, got a port.
Over to departure, Papa Delta Mike. Just a kind way to let him know, hey, we're still here.
2102 whiskey.
Switch to departure. Still, I'm not free to go any higher than 2,500, so I'm going to stick here.
Supposed to be Paradise 270 radio Victor 363.
Just going to lean the engine just a bit to get the EGT nicely
contact
high up.
SoCal approach 128.1.
Look at the scenery, guys. It's so gorgeous here. SoCal departure, Sky Papa Delta Tango on your mic is level 2000. Set us free.
2102 SoCal approach 4 miles from Snake, flighting
Set
200,
us free.
maintain slow flies and clear out.
Like to climb.
Right approach.
Landing lights off.
2 whiskey 3000. John Wayne altimeter 901.
I don't share the profile of my trick.
SoCal departure, see altitude.
We're currently level 2000, Papa Delta Mike.
PHJM, thank you. It's altitude restriction, resume on navigate.
Resume on nav, and we cancel the altitude restriction, Papa Delta Mike. Thanks for the help. Alright, there we go. More power in. Well, let's do full mixture as well. Let's focus on that needle. It's a little bit to the right of us. No, I don't share the TrackIR profile. It's also not really, I think it's even default. Let me see. Okay, good. Trim a bit for a little bit more aggressive climb. Why don't you share the profile? I never thought about it, to be honest. Just because it's default. Alright. So our cruising altitude, our intended cruising altitude was 5,500. Also that flyway, right? That's the safe way to fly at. Needle is already creeping in on Nav1, good. Very good. Landing lights are off. Flaps are up, good. How nice it is. Some clouds there. Not really forecasted, but hey, xEnviro does its own thing. If we do see clouds, we could just disable this xEnviro because it's not realistic. So I based my flight on actual weather data, so it's weird if that interrupts, but well, let's just wait and see.
Air 2102 Whiskey, contact John Wayne Tower 126.8.
Nice climb. Still looking at that Nav1, it's coming in. Thanks for the follow, Rise. Thank you. Welcome on board. Alright, slightly on the needle, so let's turn already a bit. Yeah, no traffic there.
Southwest 4047 Las Vegas Tower, runway 25 right, clear, forward takeoff, wind 360 at 4.
Alright, on center. The GPS map turns like we expected to turn.
2102 Whiskey, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind calm.
And we're gonna go on our 100 heading, 100 heading. Outbound of Van Nuys. Good, and we'll still keep that climb going. To 5,500. Again, engine is looking good. We can already start to lean a bit. We're not at 100% throttle. And we're already high enough so that the air is thin enough, so we don't run the risk of overheating. And I like to be a little bit lean and efficient with my fuel, so that's also an important reason to start leaning a bit. Yeah, 3 Provos, I can imagine. I'll just keep watching and you'll get used to it. I mean, I don't prefer turning that around just for you guys. so that when I turn to the left, my view actually goes to the right. So yeah, that's just an obvious limitation there. Okay, still climbing, 1,500 feet to go. We're now kind of like out of the Charlie. Still we have that squawk code going on. I guess we also get a 20 nautical miles out, a squawk VFR setting. If not, I'm just going to say approach, can we go VFR, squawk VFR. Apparently that's also a separate instruction. So if they say go VFR or remain VFR, that just means stay on VFR altitude, stay clear of clouds, but it doesn't mean that you need to squawk VFR as well. That's an explicit instruction. Again, I'm losing track here. Flying 90 instead of 100. Okay, what we can do is already listen to the COM2 ATIS of John Wayne, and at the same time tune in our next standby ATIS, and that's going to be Hawthorne, and Hawthorne is 118.4. 118.4, good.
Southwest 4046, contact port.
COM2.
Orange County, John Wayne Information Hotel.
Hotel.
2000 Zulu weather. Wind 180 at 6. Visibility more than 10.
Perfect.
Sky clear.
Shed 02 taxi parking via Bravo, monitor ground, and have a good day.
Altimeter 2983. Arriving runways 20 right.
Didn't catch
20
it.
left. Departing runways 20 right. 20 left. Advise on initial contact. You have hotel.
One more time. Sorry, guys.
Southwest 4047, Las Vegas departure, radar contact. Verify.
Minico, yeah. Well, I just have plain water.
John Wayne Information Hotel. 2000 Zulu weather. Wind 180 at 6. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 24. Dew point -15. Altimeter 2983.
83.
Arriving
For you, or did you just miss that part of the route?
83. All right, Neil is returning to us. Good. Okay, 5,500 is coming up. Looking at our track. Over flying Amonte or San Gabriel. See, my GPS is still outdated. Well, you guys can see.
I wasn't sure what happened.
Still saying Kilo Echo Mike Tango. Okay, 5,500. First
Right, no problem.
to your altitude, Tim. There we go. Nose down. The airspeed to increase first. What's our RPM? Yes, it's full throttle. So let's go 2,400 or 2,300. It's a little bit more casual going. Now we're going to trim. Nice. Good. And we're on track. So now we can go fly 100 again. Wow, 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 wow. Already in the, on the altimeter sending off John Wayne. Okay, here we go. 100 is coming up. Good. Still didn't hear anything of departure to switch frequencies. Yeah, we're gonna wait until the nav2 goes center, then we go down to Ollie. And then from Ollie, yeah, so once we're on that track towards Ollie, I'm going to reset the nav1 to Seal Beach. Good. Also, I'm not using the clock. Ding, 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 ding. I'm always using the, forgetting to use the clock. Or location. Let's just ask departure, or departure to or VFR squawk. You can also just wait just to see what happens, but we're clearly already out of the Charlie. Tia, UncertifiedPilot, have you gone out flying Cessnas in real life? Well, just a couple of times. So I'm only using Flight Sim now to prepare to do my actual flight training, my real-world flight training. Getting as close to an actual instrument rating in Flight Sim as I possibly can. That's what the UncertifiedPilot project is all about. If you're new to the project, hop over to UncertifiedPilot.com. I describe my project and all my training flights and links to nice YouTube videos and streams. So that's kind of like the plan, and I pretty much completed my VFR training. Still need to do my CAT ratings, part of PilotEdge. Those are kind of like VFR training flights that you can, examinations that you can do on PilotEdge, which is really nice. So I use those as milestones, and then once I completed those, I'll start my season 2 series, where I'm going to train for IFR, for instrument rating flying. A bit more power here. I'm 200 feet below cruising altitude. Oh, wow. But some clouds, and we need to go that direction, guys. So I'm hoping that John Wayne is over there, because we can overfly this, I guess. We need to be 1,000 feet above a ceiling, or above clouds. And it seems like we can overfly this, not this, but that. So I'm hoping that John Wayne is all the way over there, so we can overfly that little chunk. Which we can still do in VFR, obviously. And deliberately fly a bit to the south there to get over that cloud deck. Still, we're nicely on track, waiting for this nav2 to come in. That's our cue to turn to the south. And fly that flyway that we were talking about at the pre-flight brief. Tia, I've only gone twice as flight class when younger. Wish I would have continued. Awesome. Yeah, I did it only once a few years ago. Already with some flight sim experience. That was already wonderful to see how much you can transfer these skills to the real world. And that's what simulation is all about. So that's really awesome. But I'm really looking forward to starting my actual training. Without mentioning to the flight instructor that I actually have some flight hours in the flight sim, and just see how quick I can solo. Not that it's about soloing as quick as possible. Everything needs to be safe, obviously. But I do think that you got a significant head start. Now, it's interesting also, while I'm looking at the OBS, I'm very slowly creeping on that needle, even though my nose is pointed to the south quite significantly.
Southwest 40 feet 7.
That means we got a wind.
This is where
so we're getting pushed to the left.
Climb via SID is why it's mandatory and important. So if you look at the SID, pull up the Boat 7 chart. The chart, not the FMC. Ignore the FMC. Pull up the,
Three Profits,
chart, verify the FMC against the chart. But pull up the chart and you'll see it says
I just want to say about the
big square.
And IFR, that's going to be season 2.
Okay. So when you're climbing via SID, that's where you're going. Flight level 190. You got to stop there. Right now you're through flight level 260. So go ahead and maintain flight level 260 and contact Los Angeles Center 133.55.
Let's contact SoCal departure. I'd like to go VFR squawk now.
3355.
SoCal approach, Skype Hotel Tango Mike. Could we squawk VFR as well at this time?
PHDIM. Roger, radar source terminated squawk VFR for exchange crew.
Squawk VFR, thanks for the help, Hotel Tango Mike. I mean, it's just about clarity, and these guys are also quite busy. Oh, that's not what I like to do. Not the Windows
South 4047 Los Angeles Center, climbing tank level 340.
The L button, 1200, there we go. Good, so we're now off. We're really free now. I think the needle of the nav2 is slowly creeping in. Nicely trimmed, we're not doing anything. I mean, this is the real, original, old school autopilot, guys. Just good trimming. Yeah, there the needle goes, you can see.
Contact Almighty Tower.
Very slowly.
121.2, squawk VFR, have a good landing.
That's good. can already listen to
Orange County.
John Wayne one more time to make sure we got the current altimeter.
2000 Zulu weather. Wind 180 at 6. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 19. Dew point -20. Altimeter 2983.
83. Still 83. Yeah, good. Okay, awesome. Neil is slowly creeping in. We could also do is already set our heading bug for Hawthorne. That's, well, what we're going to get. I guess the runway 25. Usually the winds are coming from the ocean.
Sky 665 Tango, Elmani Tower in the left base, runway 19.
Makes it a bit easier to do traffic patterns. Here we are. Good. So what did we say? When we make that turn to this turn from Piro
heavy.
to Ollie, thanks for the follow, DC Gator. Thanks, welcome on board.
Departure level transition as filed.
We stay at 5,500, but I'm gonna, oh yeah, we're gonna reset the nav1 because we don't need the nav1 anymore, that outbound radial from Van Nuys. So I'm gonna set that to Seal Beach, so I can go with my next turn from Ollie to Seal Beach. That's what we're gonna do as soon as we are established on that next track. Next leg, I mean. Nav2 almost in the center. Look at this scenery, guys. Photo real. And there's the cloud deck, so I think we can make that leg. We can overfly those clouds. Perhaps not be strictly 1,000 feet above, perhaps a little bit less. But let's just use the flexibility of a flight sim to see what happens. Okay, nav2. Kind of like on the center. With a 737 now, you would already made that turn. Thank you for the follow, Sanctus. Thank you guys for following. Much appreciated. Alright, making sure no one is to the right. Already descend a bit to stay on 5,500. 150 is going to be our heading nav2. And there we go. I would expect to fly a little bit more this side. So just make a quick check on my map. Yeah, 150, that's correct. Okay, good. So, already we've got some winds. I can see the needle here. It's a bit to the right. So let's turn it a little bit more to the south here to catch that needle. Also, let's stick to 5,500. 200 feet a bit too high. Not a problem with VFR flying, but it's good to stay on altitude. A bit more nose down trim. We can ignore the nav1. We can reset the nav1. Nav1, Seal Beach. And Seal Beach is 115.7. And we set that already in the standby, so I can just do a switch. Good. And then the nav2 is going to be LAX. Let's not go too much to the right here. So that means I can set my standby of nav1 to Santa Monica. That's also one that I'd like to have prepared already. And that's going to be 110.8. 110.8. One thing that we need to prepare as well is we're on this track. Well, what radial do we need to catch and fly to Seal Beach? Well, that's 240. Let me see, 240. So what we're now doing is actually quite extraordinary, I think. 2 reading, that's good as well. We're not flying on flight following.
Air65 Tango, roger, left.
But we're crossing safely a hugely, insanely dense airspace. Just by thinking through the system. Which is great, I think. Again, not really descending that much. Some traffic there in front of me, on top. Again, we're not on flight following, so we should be extra vigilant of other traffic. Still, we're totally legal to fly without flight following here. Again, the needle of the nav2 is a bit to the left here, so stick on that needle. And John Wayne, looking at our GPS, should be somewhere around there, I guess. It's over there. Here. Yeah. Nice shot. Wow. With the gorgeous terminals of Greg. Made by Greg. Keep to the left, Tim. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Again, catch that needle. And there already comes the nav1. That we need to catch. To fly that 240. Double check. 240. Yes, that's correct. Again at 5,500 until we overfly that TFR. We could already start this end a bit early, but then we need to go to 3,000. Okay, that's our cue. Centered. Let's go to 2,400 now. Uh-oh. Gotta fly through the clouds, guys. Which we are not allowed to as V4 pilots. So what we could do is be creative. And being creative with a plan is not good. Because you probably didn't think stuff through. But let's see if we can do this on the spot as well as an additional challenge. So, we stayed 5,500. I'm going to stick it to this direction so we avoid that cloud. So that means if we look at the map, we're now going to fly a little bit more like this direction. Which is okay. If I look at this airspace, we got this Charlie here at 4,400. So as long as we stay at 5,500, we're fine. We're going to overfly that Charlie. We're not on flight following. So we could overfly that cloud easily and just aim for that Van Nuys 140 radial. So that's what we're going to do. Makes sense, right? Let me know, because I need co-pilots, guys. I need co-pilots. So that means that the whole Seal Beach VOR on the nav1 is meaningless. We can already set it to the Van Nuys, which you already prepared on the nav2, but let's just do it anyway. Van Nuys is 113.1. nav1 113.1 is now active in the 1. Uh-oh, we got turbulence. Oh gosh, why me? And that radial was what was it? 140. All the way around. A little bit nose up trim here. 140. 140, Tim. Good. Again, 5,500. And we're fine.
For the Cat 7, good job.
Makes sense we got some turbulence because we're coming into some cloud formation. A little bit more gas. Again, fuel's doing okay. Engine is looking good. Nicely leaned. Nice! It's cool, isn't it, guys? 3 Prophets. Hey, Tim, I see there's some kind of artifact just below your cursor. Yeah, I know. Sometimes. At least I don't see it here now in my OBS, but sometimes there is an artifact. I don't know where that's coming from, to be honest.
Aircraft column 6.
Okay. So this is also very nice with flight or with VFR that we can just choose to go whatever direction we need to fly. At the same time, that's the challenge. Because we need to think for ourselves. In an IFR, that's what Keith was saying also, not in the previous stream, the stream before that, like, well, Tim, I was talking about my I rating, my next season of flying. And he was saying, and I was saying, well, IFR flying is going to be so difficult. And he's going to say, well, you're going to be surprised actually. VFR, proper VFR flying is much more difficult than IFR flying. And that's because with an IFR flight plan, you just stick to a plan and you get assigned to what to do. But with the VFR flying, you need to think, right? Which makes sense. Okay, a little bit more higher than 5,500, but that's perfect. John Wayne, in the meantime, is just here over the nose. Ah, there it is. Beautiful, John Wayne. One of the busiest airport, I think, in the PilotEdge area. Although, perhaps not anymore. In the old days, when we got the V ratings in PilotEdge, which are now called the CAT ratings, and there were only 3 back then, John Wayne was an integral airport. And so it was busy quite naturally. Some turbulence here, but it's moderate. Again, trying to circumvent that cloud because we need to stay clear of clouds. And there's an acronym that you can use. It's 3512. And you just need to remember that, 3512. At least 3 statute miles of visibility for VFR. 500 feet below clouds. If you go underfly a cloud, you need to be at least 500 feet below. 351. The 1000 is at least 1,000 feet above clouds, which we're clearly not gonna make. I just saw the cloud ceiling bump up a bit, which makes sense because the day is now progressing in California, so the ground is warming up, so the cloud ceiling is rising as well. 1,000 feet above and 2,000 feet laterally clear of clouds. 3512. Now I can tell you, flying with 4 statute miles of visibility, which is still VFR, is actually very, very challenging. It's also marginal VMC. That's between 3 or 5 statute miles. It's still, you're still legal as a VFR pilot, but it's very, very daunting. And especially now, imagine flying at this altitude with 4 statute miles of visibility. You cannot rely on visual reference points anymore.
Southwest 4047, descend via Lucky 1 arrival.
Stay clear of that cloud. There's the coast. John Wayne to the left of us here. Now descending. Okay. Good. Well, it seems that we are clear of clouds here, 1,000 feet above. Also, we've got enough lateral space here to stay clear of clouds. And also, it's not that controllers can really tell where specific clouds are and whether we are in them or not, so that we get a letter as soon as we land at our destination airport by the FAA saying, hey, you were 500 feet above clouds. It's not that strict. So it's mainly about your own safety, actually. But obviously, if you're really at IMC, also in terms of METARs, ADIS, and you like to depart, then obviously the controllers have a very concrete proof that you were unaware of IMC as a VFR pilot, and that's not good. Mabino, good to see you, man, on the stream. Tim, do you avoid AP always? What's AP? I'm avoiding cloud formation here to the right. That's what I'm doing. And it seems like a big cloud. So let's see whether I see the Charlie here to the south. So let's see if we already are clear of the Charlie, we can already start our descent. Other way we can just fly around it. Autopilot, no. I'm never flying autopilot. Perhaps with the I ratings I will, but I like flying. I don't like just watching an airplane fly itself. I just like the dynamic of it. So that's why I'm not using flight following. And in a way I am using the autopilot, I'm using trim.
Air Mexico 502 Heavy, Las Vegas Tower, running 25 right, clear for takeoff.
Okay, so
Southwest 4047 contact.
we
Los Angeles
clearly
1226.
avoided the Charlie here. What we could do is set the COM1 to Hawthorne already. Hawthorne Tower. And that is... that is 121.1. Okay. 121.1.
Southwest 4047, Los Angeles Center, the Limburg altimeter, 29090.
Switch, that's the tower. We've got a standby now of COM1 available. Well, that's obviously going to be LAX Tower. That's going to be for a transition, right? 119.8. Good, so we already prepped our Hawthorne touch and go there. The only thing I don't like is we're really far on the ocean right now. Are we already clear of the airspace? No, not yet. So if we got an engine out, we need to be able to glide back to the ocean, but I guess we can make that. Good thing we checked for live vests before we started our flight. And also I can see Catalina already over there in the distance. I think it's Catalina. Just make sure there's no weird airspace over here. Also, I'm noticing something else. My indication here is still from. Let me see. Van Nuys is. Oh. Van Nuys is 113.1. That's set in the nav 1. Yeah, why do I get a from reading then? That doesn't make sense. I would expect to see a... Oh, obviously. Yeah, that should be at the bottom. It's 140, I think. 140? 140. Van Nuys. Yeah, that makes sense too. Okay. So that needle is still to the left of us, and what I was checking was the airspace. So as you can see here, southwest of John Wayne, there's no other airspace other than that Bravo starting at 7,000, and that top shelf of the Charlie 4,400. Well, I think we already passed that chunk here. So what we could do is even further fly this side. Let me zoom out here. It's hard to see what's at the back of us here. I think that is the... yeah. Let's do an adventurous turn here. So that means we're clear of airspace. Our needle is already coming in. So let's see if we can stick to that 3512 VFR rule and fly in between these clouds while still remaining VFR. So we're going to overfly that needle because clearly there's a cloud here in front of us. Yeah, 3 profits. I'm not really that comfortable with the distance here from the ocean. In case we got an engine out. So nice boats there, ships. Alright, so I'm gonna descend through this space here.
Southwest 4047, that's group, report me back.
Nice.
502 Heavy, contact departure, see ya.
We're gonna go to Catalina one day as well, guys. Now, why do we need to separate ourselves so much from clouds? Well, obviously as VFR pilots, especially when we're not on flight following, we have no idea what's flying over there in those clouds, and an IFR flight might just pop out.
Underscore 502 Heavy, Las Vegas departure, radar contact, runway 2 flight level 1.
Oh wow, this is so nice. That's the direction that we need to go to. There is LAX in the distance. Hawthorne's over there. So that's why we need to stay clear of clouds, so we've got enough time to spot any other traffic. For example, the traffic over here. If you guys can see, it's hard to stabilize my TrackIR here.
170 Bravo, the ramp with Delta, request taxi for VFR, west departure.
Alrighty then. Our needle is a little bit to the right of us. We have a clear path to go. Zooming in on my GPS so I know also see the deltas.
Eclipse 170 Bravo.
I have no idea what 2,000 feet laterally looks like. I think we're clear enough of clouds here. Come on, keep that descent going, Tim.
Eclipse 170 Bravo, runway 21, taxi speed Papa Bravo.
Papa Bravo 21, Eclipse 170 Bravo.
Alright. Airspeed's increasing a bit, a little bit less power. Again, clouds are to the right, so I'm just going to stick a little bit to the left here. The GPS, you see a lot of sectors there, airspace, so I'm glancing at my ForeFlight here to know what those sectors are. And as you can see, starting at 8,000 Bravo, and here 7,000, so we're underflying, flying below, underneath those sectors, so we're totally fine. Now, what's important here
Southwest 4047, thank you.
is that we are going to fly this particular leg. That's Van Nuys radial, and that's going to allow us to fly in between those deltas. Requiring that we fly that radial really, really exact. So that's what we're going to do. This visibility is already worsening a bit. Technically, you could say we're already in a cloud, but
Las Vegas clearance.
Still have some visual reference here.
Departure wig.
Good.
Van Nuys filed. Climb via Z.
All right, so let's start catching that needle right away. So that corridor that I was talking about, you can already see here. I like to fly in between that. And what we could do is also fly 3,000 because those deltas have a ceiling
Allegiant 655 can run the
of
spark
2,600 and 2,400. So at 2,700 we would still overfly those.
Allegiant 655, read back correct.
We still got enough room behind those deltas to get to our traffic pattern altitude. So perhaps that's better. Let's just stick to 3,000 so we're okay regardless. Traffic there, 10 o'clock, high up, no factor. So traffic here in the front of us.
Bakersfield, Grand Morning, jets from 913 Kilo requesting
This is cool! Ozzy, Turbulent Tim again, yeah. Well, this time it makes more sense because we're flying near clouds and it's the start of the day.
Southwest 4047, contact cycle.
So it makes sense that we got some turbulence. Well, already the most turbulence you would expect at the end of the day.
Mexico 502.
The harbor.
Los Angeles Center, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Also going to turn on my landing lights, not because we're going to land here, but just to be as visible as possible. Also what I'm noticing is I just talked about being at 3,000 feet, but you can see the clouds here. That might not cut it.
Affirm requesting IFR2 Santa Barbara, jets from 913 Kilo.
Jetstream 13 Kilo, thank you. Clear to Santa Barbara Airport, Meadows 3 departure.
What's the AIDA doing of LAX?
American,
Few clouds at 500, good.
Climb B6, 17, 6,000.
Mini routes, as I already briefed, requires that there's no ceiling below 3,500. Well, few clouds doesn't mean that there's a ceiling. Otherwise we cannot make that transition. Ah, turbulent is gone. Good. Nicely on track. So nav 1 standby is 115.7. That's not Santa Monica. Nav 1 110.8. Let's prep that as well. Good. Comms were also already set. We're already on Tower of Hawthorne.
To the routing. It'll be the Merrick 3 at departure to Merrick, and then
stick to 3,000 here. Seems to be okay for now.
For Merrick 4 departure, then Merrick, then it's filed. Judgment 913 Kilo.
Judgment 13 Kilo, Merrick 4 departure Merrick, and as filed.
Roger, Merrick 4, Merrick is filed. Thank you.
Right on the needle. A little bit more power there. Button block is set. Let's get ATIS.
Canyon Tower, Eclipse 170, Bravo, holding short.
Hawthorne, 118.4. Nav, Com2, 118.4. Switch. Good. And we can already set the ATIS of Burbank. That's the next one that we need, and that is 134.5. Good, that's set as well. We're prepped.
4047. Descend the lucky one arrival clear localize runway 27 approach.
India.
2000 Zulu weather. Wind 170 at 5. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 20. Dew point -19. Altimeter 2988.
88.
55. No 17
it is.
Bravo, Canyon Tower, and course approved runway 21 clear for takeoff.
Still on the needle, as you can see, we're flying right through those two deltas as planned. There's Hawthorne on the top. So far so good. So that means that we can now already start the descent. Traffic penalty was 1600 if I recall.
Mexico 502 Los Angeles Center, climbing tape flight level 280.
Hawthorne. No, 1200. 1200 it is. Okay, good to know. 1200. Okay. 1200. Let's descend already. So, to the right of us, there's an airport.
13 Kilo, limit to the altitude at climb B6.
I guess over there.
3000.
That's the military airport. Yep. And we got to the left, that is San Bernardino. What is it called? It is called Samperini. Over there. Good. Traffic there. Thanks for the follow. Brickyard, thanks. I said that I'd like to descend. Alright, so ready on tower. We got the heading block for the runway. I expect 25. We're going to ask for a touch and go. And on the go, the mini route transition northbound through LAX. Ah, why? Okay. Landing lights are set. Let's do a chat here. Scratch pad. And we got India. Hawthorne Tower, Sky Hotel Tango India Mike is 10 miles southeast of the airport, currently at 2,500 and descending with India inbound for a touch and go. We would like on the go. We like to transition the LAX area through the mini route transition, if that's possible.
PHTAM, Hawthorne Tower. I'll tell you what, enter left base, runway 25, report 3 mile base, and yeah, I think we can coordinate that.
Awesome. Left base 25 and we'll report 3 miles out. Pop touching away. Left base 25. Why do I always have severe turbulence when I don't?
Do you have a destination in mind?
We go to Burbank, so we transition through Santa Monica and then go northbound.
Roger.
Okay.
PHTAM squawk 3147.
3147, Papa Delta Mike. 3147. Love the keybind.
November 08 Bravo, frequency change approved. Have a great flight.
So far so good, guys. Where is Hawthorne? I see it on the GPS, but I cannot spot it right now there in the scenery. I think it is over there, just in front of us. Landing lights are on, mixture full in, flaps are up, fuel tank set to both. Good. Luckily we don't have a problem with the clouds, because that would really prevent us from making this flight. Okay, we can switch the nav 1 to Santa Monica. What was the 128? That was the OBS 128. Because when I'm focusing on my touch and go, I like to be set up to catch that needle. 1, 2, 8. Good. Okay, focus on landing right now, Tim. Traffic pattern feed is coming up. Traffic pattern altitude is coming up. Left base, 3 miles out. Well, I guess that is Hawthorne. It's traffic pattern altitude, by the way. Whoa. Yeah, that's the tower. Good. Okay, let's report. Hawthorne Tower, Sky Papa Hotel Tango Mike, Tango India Mike is 3 miles out. Inbound full stop. Touch and go. Papa Hotel Tango Mike.
PHTAM, runway 25, clear, touch and go. Wind calm. On the go, make a left crossing departure to the south, and then you'll be able to turn northbound, climb and turn northbound to join the mini route.
Makes sense. Clear to land runway 25, and on the go, we'll go south, so a left-hand crosswind, and catch that needle up to Santa Monica. Good.
PHTAM, most important part of all, remain outside Los Angeles Bravo airspace.
We'll remain clear of Bravo, Papa Delta Mike. Okay. Focus here, 25. So the heading bug is to the left, so we are on the base. We're already in the wide band. We've got some turbulence, so again we could say, well, let's just stick to our 10 degree of flap here. Because with more flaps, we make life perhaps a bit more difficult. But I'm not going to, because last time it did work. Alright, there's the runway. This is so cool, guys. It's really challenging, but I'm enjoying myself, I can tell you.
With Oscar ready for taxi.
Southwest 4047, contact number tower 18.3.
Okay.
Judging 901, 3 kilo, runway 30
There's
right,
the runway.
Alpha Bravo.
Runway 3 is right, taxi Alpha Bravo, yes, from 901.
Guys, I have no time to watch the chat. Sorry.
San Diego Tower, Southwest 4047 will be.
25, there it is.
Southwest 4047, number tower.
So LAX, you can see LAX already to the right there in the distance. Over here. You can see the tower. So Hawthorne is really nearby. So if I make a right turn after the go here, after the touch and go, I would just fly into Bravo, which we don't have clearance for it yet.
Aeroscope 502, kind of.
So that's why we make a left crosswind departure here. And I already set the LAX frequency in the standby, right? That's why I prepped. So we can do an easy switch.
Looks like you're going around. Fly heading
and the LAX tower will then tell us to have, tell us that we have clearance to cross the...
I'll do the mist, Southwest 4047.
Let's focus here.
Southwest 4047, roger. Contact
if we
number
crash,
tower, correction. Contact SoCal, approach 100.6.
1.6.
Laps up. That was too nice to be true. Nice, these grass. Very nice airport. Oh, come on, get up. We're already past our VR. Yeah. All right, there we go. Nice airport. Man, I'm being pushed down by downdrafts like you cannot imagine.
Las Vegas ground, collegiate standby.
Okay, 300 feet. 500. Again, LAX is over there. Good. Let's make that crosswind turn.
HTIM report established mini route northbound south of Hawthorne, VFR 2500.
We'll report when we're on the radial there in 2500. Good. So, whoa.
Las Vegas ground, Allegiant 6.
Whoa. Okay. Crosswind. Heading back to the right. We need to climb to 2500 as we briefed.
Allegiant 655, Las Vegas.
Man, I'm being...
right, taxi via Charlie, Bravo.
This is a fight. Fight to the death. Imagine being this your check ride. My gosh.
Santa Barbara Coins delivery, Skyhawk 6265 Tango.
Staying in the delta of Hawthorne and looking at the GPS there.
5,500. Cessna 172 Golf.
This is the radial that we need to catch. It's now to the right, so let's make that right turn.
6265 Tango, Santa Barbara clearance. On departure, fly runway heading, maintain
Keep
V
that climb going.
1,500
Man, guys, I'm fighting this like a gladiator.
55, squawk 4263.
Send me your good luck wishes.
Roger,
there's the needle.
On departure, fly runway heading, maintain VFR below 1,500, departure frequency 120.
Well, we might not make it into Bravo at 2,500, so I'm gonna stay in the delta here. And just make one left 360 here and catch the radial. Because we're not at 2,500 yet. We could have made the radial, but the mini route requires us to get at 2,500. Again, we're in the delta still of Hawthorne. This is so much fun. My gosh. Okay, 2,500 is coming up, so making that left turn. There's the needle. Whoa. Okay, and as we are established, we're gonna notice, give Hawthorne a notice that we are, and so they can transition us to LAX tower, and we get clearance. That's the idea.
Just your 901 kilo.
This is insane turbulence.
Runway 30 right, clear takeoff.
Clear takeoff, runway 30 right. Just
there we are.
3 kilo.
Alright, stabilized. Alton Tower, Skypopper Delta, your mic is established. Something like that.
PHDIM, thank you. Contact Los Angeles Helicopters 119.8.
119.8, switch! Prepared that one. Good. Los Angeles Tower, Skypopper Delta Tango, your mic is established on the mini route northbound 2,500.
PHDIM, Los Angeles Helicopters, ident.
Ident. Identing. Let's stick to 2,500 and over the numbers. That was the instruction.
GA parking, requesting taxi instruction.
PHDIM Los Angeles helicopters, you are radar contact. Cleared into Los Angeles Bravo airspace via the mini route. Maintain VFR 2500.
2500 remain VFR and cleared to Anthony Bravo. Yeah!
Justin 13 kilo
That's my
contact
first
departure.
time entering a Bravo. Right on track. Heavy turbulence, and there's LAX, guys, as I promised. I needed to fight for it, but here it is.
265 Tango, Santa Barbara ground.
Okay, Santa Monica is already coming up there. What is the Santa Monica frequency tower? Tower frequency. It is... That thing I couldn't.
Justin 9013 kilo Bakersfield.
That is 120.1. 120.1. Switched in the standby.
KLAX 6265 Tango, Santa Barbara ground, runway 25.
Look at the terminals. I'm going to enjoy this.
25 Charlie Juliet.
With a little Cessna 172, we're overflying the terminals. Okay. Right on track. Santa Monica is over there. I can already see it in the distance. With the red hangar or stuff like that. A little bit more speed. Weird to the xEnviro clouds. Ugh. Again, stick on that needle. A little bit more to the right here. Now we're kind of like clear of the Bravo. I'm going to expect LAX Tower to say switch over to Santa Monica, because Santa Monica goes up to 2,700, I believe, the Delta, and we're at 2,500. So we're going to transition. So we're going to request a transition.
PHTAM, you are leaving Los Angeles Bravo airspace. Radar service terminated. Contact Santa Monica Tower 120.1. See ya.
Thanks for the help. We're transition to Santa Monica Tower. Switch. We prepared that. Santa Monica Tower, Sky Hotel Tango Mike is on the mini route northbound 2,500. Like to transition the airspace to the north to Burbank.
PHTIM, Santa Monica Tower, altimeter 2992. North of Santa Monica, resume navigation at appropriate for altitude. Squawk V5 frequency change approved.
902 for the altimeter, and will remain VFR altitude. Okay, well, those VFR altitudes don't really apply to us because we're below 3,000 feet HL, so we can just stick at 2,500 if we like, because we've got clearance. Also, we need to... We're now on tower. Just take our time. We're on the tower. Burbank is over there.
Las Vegas Tower with
how do we get to Burbank? Well,
Clip takeoff 255, Agent 655.
We can just fly a little bit more northbound, but we can also...
Santa Barbara Tower, Skyhawk 6265 Tango.
I guess visual reference points, because they're not really, there's not really a VOR that we can track.
Ariska 502.
Well, we can, obviously. Santa Monica.
Limburg altimeter 2990.
I need a co-pilot.
Lucky one arrival.
I think it's something like that. That would be...
KLAX 6265 Tango, Santa Barbara Tower, wind
12.
160 runway 25.
Just 12. 1, 2.
25.
Ah, no turbulence. That helps. Again, there it is. That would be 1, 3. Yeah. So Santa Monica was already set. I think we're already in the front position. So outbound. Yeah, 3. What a fight it was. Man. 1, 3. That's outbound. Does it make sense? Yeah, it does make sense. Oh. A little bit more power here. There it goes. Centered. We're now completely on top over Santa Monica. Good. 2,500. Looking at the terrain would be fine. Next up frequency is Burbank approach. 124.6. Good. Okay, she said that we should remain VFR. She didn't say we need to squawk VFR, so I'm just keeping my squawk code on. Okay, 3,000 might be better. At least there you can see a lake. And it happened that I just saw that lake as well here on my map, on my section, as you can see there.
Sky 65 Tango radar contact.
So we should
contact
stay, we
departure.
should scratch the south part of that lake and we go to Burbank. Now we're now at 3,000. That means that we're also clear of the delta of Santa Monica, which goes up to 2,700. So we have nothing to do with
Sky
Santa Monica
62,
anymore.
65 Tango Santa Barbara departure.
So that
cancel
means
altitude
20 miles out,
restriction.
we can contact Burbank.
Sky 65
Let's,
Tango,
catch that
roger.
radial as
Copy
well.
down.
Even though I can just fly the GPS, I like to
Legion 655.
to pretend that I'm
contact
Alpha.
Departure. See ya.
Contact party is Legion 655.
Okay, switch. 124.6, again double check. 124.6. Yeah, 124.6. Miles out. We don't have ATIS. COM2.
Legion 655, Las Vegas departure, radar contact.
Switch.
Wind calm.
It doesn't reset the COM2.
Testing 13 kilo contact Los Angeles Center.
Burbank. India.
2100 Zulu.
Okay,
weather.
India's good enough for me. COM1. 3,000. Where's the... It starts at 3,000, yeah. So that's one of the nasty things. I already bashed into the Charlie without permission. It starts already at 3,000. Socal approach, Sky Hotel Tango, any mic.
PHTAM, SoCal approach. Go ahead.
Hotel Tango Mike likes to fly to Burbank, full stop. We have India. We're currently leveled at 3,000.
Judging 913 kilo, Los Angeles Center, Bakersfield altimeter.
So officially, we bashed the Charlie. I should have stayed at 3,000 or 2,900.
PHTAM, what's your position from Burbank?
We're 15 miles south, currently level 2,800.
PHTAM, roger. Yeah, flight following wouldn't really help you any. In that case, just contact Burbank Tower with your request.
Over to Burbank Tower, Hotel Tango Mike. Okay, but I think you should always contact approach, right? That's new.
The quest taken.
Burbank Tower, 118.7.
Sky 65 Tango, you resume on navigation when you are given that instruction. I have not given that
I'm
to
gonna
you.
post it on the PilotEdge forums to see what the correct answer is, because this is a bit weird.
And it's Santa Barbara departure, just FYI.
Burbank Tower, Sky Hotel Tango, India Mike is about 8 miles south of the airport, currently at 2,600, with India inbound for a full stop.
PHTAM, Burbank Tower, squawk 4044 ident.
It's 4044. Squawk 4044, Hotel India Mike will ident.
Sky 65 Tango, resume on navigation.
4044, and we'll ident. Ident.
PHTAM, your radar contact 6.5 miles southwest of Burbank Airport, Burbank altimeter 2901. Do you have a runway you're looking for, or confirm me out weather?
Altimeter 91, no, just give me a runway that fits.
PHTAM, enter right base, runway 8, report established final.
Right base, runway 8, and we'll report on final pump touching Mike. Okay, runway 8. Runway 8, right base. That's perfect. So, here you can see Burbank. Burbank. And this is runway 8 going that direction. So right pattern is going this way. So right base, final. Now, why does the tower controller ask us to report? Because she's busy doing other stuff. And she just likes to have a notification as soon as we're on the final, in case she's got a departing aircraft or something like that. She can tell us to go around or whatever. Terrific. Pattern altitudes. 1,700. Let's have a look at Burbank once more. 1,600 it is. Okay. So let's keep on descending. Mixture full in. Yeah, again, landing lights are still on. We're squawking. Awesome. Man.
Moscow 502, heavy contact Los Angeles.
I am a bit disappointed though. She didn't notice, but I am disappointed to be honest that I bashed at Charlie. And I knew about that Charlie,
calling
but
for the I3 rating, say call sign on.
I was thinking too quickly about, oh, let's just pick 3,000 because it was just happening. I was saying that I could just have stick to 2,500, but because I was in a apparent climb due to winds or whatever, I thought, well, 3,000 is okay as well, without double checking that.
Heavy, so Cal Bridge, number altimeter 29.
Okay, Burbank has ground on 123.9. Let's prepare that as well.
Airmasco 502 Heavy, descend be the lucky one arrival, cleared RNAV from runway 27 approach. Madeira 121 Alpha Whiskey, John Wayne clearance, cleared to Burbank Airport on
Traffic
departure
better,
for heading
altitude,
230 Rudder Vector Still Beach
airspeed increasing, first notch of flaps, nose down.
4,000 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 128.1, spot 4033. Have your request for the I3.
I didn't set the heading bug here to 08. Now it's 08, does make makes a lot more sense, visually.
2,000, expect 4,000 in 10.
One notch of flaps because we're now in the white band.
4033 for November 121 Alpha Whiskey.
And there's beautiful Burbank again, guys. What a stream!
PHJM runway 8 clear to land, wind calm.
Clear to land 8, Papa Delta Mike. Okay. A little bit slow on speed. Good on speed. Again, landing lights are on, everything is on. Mixture full in. Now Atlantic is to the left, that's where we started. So let's also plan for that. Nice, look at this. Back home. 60, nice. Let's plan for that same parking spot. 65. Runway 8. Nose up. Oh, gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. Not this taxi exit, but the next one. Or runway exit, I should say. Good. Still keep a pace on here. You like to spend as little time on the runway as possible. There comes the next yellow line here on the runway. It's braking here. There we go. Delta 7 to the left in the black. Okay, Delta 7 it is. And we like to go to Atlantic. Good. Brakes. Let's clean up this stuff. Lean for ground. Still set to... Oh, I didn't turn my throttle back on. No, I didn't. I did turn it on because I needed to keep that speed going. Okay, landing lights off. Strobe lights on. Off. Park and brake set. Let's reset the trim. Good. Okay. Burbank Tower, Sky Pop Hotel Tango Mike is clear at 8. Thank you, Ozzy. Why do I not hear anyone? Tower 118.7.
PHDIM taxi to parking via Delta. Remain this frequency. Have a great afternoon.
Via Delta to parking. Thanks for the help. Pop Hotel Tango Mike.
Legion 655, contact Los Angeles Center
I'm
at
33.55. Feels like I completed a cat rating. Cat rating 11. Let's not go to Millionaire. Let's go to Atlantic, where we started. Wow, what a flight. What an incredible flight. That was the most challenging, most complex flight I ever did. And I did it quite well. Circumvent clouds, unexpected cloud base, Hawthorne touch and go, mini route, I prepped my frequencies just right, radio navigation as well. The only mistake I made, as far as I know now, is I bashed the Charlie of Burbank because I allowed my altitude to
Allegiant 655 Los Angeles Center, climb and maintain flight level 300.
increase because I thought, oh, we're just VFR 3000. Until suddenly I noticed, and that would be a notice, which I'm not pleased with. I have to be honest. Sniper, thanks for the trust. Okay, back at Atlantic.
Justin 9013 kilo, contact center bomber approach 120.55 center, maintain 900,000.
At least I think this is Atlantic.
Moscow 502, Rebo, contact Limber Tower 118.3.
Okay, park and brakes. Set. Like to set my transponder to VFR and also off.
German clearance November 54067, Cessna 172 /
Avionics off. Cut off. There we are. Switch, batteries, and park and brakes were already set. Prevent crossfeeding. Bloop, door open. Pause TrackIR. Seat belts released. Yes! I'm so proud! That was really, really, really exciting. Man. Okay. It's too late. Disconnect. Quick. Let's have a look at the landing. Now let's have a look. You see, this was already the beginning. That was the cloud stuff. Then we went to LAX. Where are we? That's Hawthorne. Here. Here we are. Control P. LAX over there. That's the transition that we made. Right on track. This is where we circle around to 2,500. Stayed in the Delta. Was very conscious of that too. Nice airport, Hawthorne. We circumvent all the clouds. In between those deltas. Very well thought out. This was that turn to John Wayne. We stayed at 5,500. We climbed here to 5,500. There's Burbank. The only thing I messed up was this part, where I started to descend here while I leave the Santa Monica Delta and bash that Charlie. That's the only mistake I can find. Landings were perfect as well. Let's have a look at the landing, and then I'm going to quit this stream because I'm very, very hungry. It's dinner time already. Mireille is also waiting for me, so I'm going to make it quick, guys. With our door open. What is happening here? Oh yeah, that's the base. There's the airport. Okay, cool. Nice turn here. Also nice on altitude. 3 profits. So what's next? Good question. It's going to be a similar kind of long distance flight, but then at night. Yeah. And then I completed all my training flights, and then I'm going to do all the cat ratings, and I'm going to celebrate that I am a virtual flight sim PPL pilot, VFR pilot. Bellissimo. The uncertified pilot. Nose is up, nose is up. Main wheel should touch down first. Wow. Just perfect. Okay, guys. That completes the uncertified pilot. My gosh, what a flight. I'm so excited, I'm so proud, and thank you so much for cheering me on here on the chat. Sniper, thank you. Miniwebs, thank you. 3 Profits, thank you for joining on the stream. DB Brothers, good to see you as well. Ozzy, Good to see you, and thanks for being here and cheering me on. Rise, so many of you here, also some new follows. That's much appreciated. Again, the Uncertified Pilot continues with more complex VFR flights next time at night. Don't know when exactly, but it's going to be really, really exciting as well. I'm hoping you will jump aboard, cheer me on, encourage me, support me, also teach me anything that you know about flying that I don't know yet, because that's why I like to be uncertified. There's always something to learn, and you can use flight simming to get that learning spark, that educational spark going. So, guys, happy flights, blue skies, and looking forward to jump into the cockpit again very, very soon, and hoping you will join me as well. Bye. Palm Springs Tower, Skylane, Papa Hotel Tango, the mic is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000, with information X-ray, for a full stop, and landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 310, requesting straight up for 13.
That's available, yes please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, main straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land, wind 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, please.
Palm Springs to Pilatus 4658, type DC-12 slam code, request clearance to Vegas S-file.
Pilatus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon, unable to give you S-file, and I'll be forward step. Pilatus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000, expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure, departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Dallas 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, initially climb 7,000, expected for 085, departure 167, box 6316 plus, versus side.
Plus 4658, reback is correct. Tango Mike, taxi to RAM via Echo and English frequency.
Taxiing to the RAM via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind runway 26 left, report base.
And left downwind for 26 left, and we'll call you base 237 Charlie Alpha.